But welcome and thank you for joining me. I was trying to see if I can get Paula in. It's telling me I can only have 3 guests today, but maybe it's because of my sketchy internet. So I'll apologise for that now. But we'll start because it's gone 7. So welcome to Homestart Greenwich's launch night for a month of celebrating our hidden heroes, our women who have been smashing it. So big whoop whoop to us. And we thought, what way to start it if not to begin with our team and celebrate all the amazing work that's been done. And it's been, I've been looking at all of the comments on social media about International Women's Day and about having, not that we have to be given a voice, we've got a voice, but how we've used it. And one of the things we want to focus on this month is talking to people who, you know, might not have a cape, might not have an S on your chest, but the work you've done has really contributed to the pandemic not being as awful for everybody. And I thought we could touch on that today, find out a bit about what you've been doing, and you can tell us a little bit about you as well. So we're going to start today's discussion. If you don't know some of my amazing team already, we are joined, I'm Leanne Cross, I'm the director at Homestart Greenwich, and we are joined today by Augustina, who leads our early years, and Dawn Thorne, who is a lead practitioner across our Together for Twos and playrooms. And I think most people who follow Homestart Greenwich know both of your faces very well. So yeah, welcome to our chat.
Thank you.
And yes, it is. Hi Paula, I'm going to be bringing you into the convo in a minute, so don't go anywhere. It is saying only 3 people, but it's fine. So maybe you can tell us a bit about you. Starting with you, Dawn. What's inspired you, or what's been your greatest? Let's start with what's been the greatest challenge that you think COVID has brought for children families.
I just think that a lot of the families have really felt isolated through the pandemic. So I've just kept in contact, even the phone call. I think they're really grateful. Just explaining to them, you know, if they're struggling with anything, that Homestart is there. You know, they just need to phone the centre. If they're struggling with domestic violence, or they've got, you know, they're struggling with their food provision or their energy, just telling them that we're still doing the activities online. We're doing the Zoom meetings. I just think they're really grateful for the phone call, and just to ask how you're doing, how are you, how are the family. You know, I think they really appreciate that. You know, you can hear that they're so appreciative of just the phone call.
Yeah, it's that human touch, isn't it? That that we've all missed. I think even with us working remotely, being at home, I've definitely missed the team. I've missed being able to collaborate and find out what's happening about the families on the ground. It feels very, very different. So, you know, the work that you've been doing to support when I do get to catch on to the digital program and go online and see all those kind of fabulous sessions, that, you know, it's not quite the same, but it's still a fantastic service. So, yeah, what about you, Augustine? Any further comments?
I would say, you mean what inspires us as a team, or?
Yeah.
I think it's the joy, the satisfaction we see in our parents when we see them achieve, when we are able to empower them, and they come back to us and give us testimonies of how we have the part we have played in their lives, in the lives of their children, in the lives of their families, be it in our Together for Two settings, where their children come in and we look after them. Their learning journey is fantastic. Be it our children from children that we have concerns about, that we as you know, our job is about early intervention. Children that we identify as that needs one thing or the other, or concerns about. And when they come, we see the progress we are able to make in their lives before they leave. In most cases, they don't want to leave because they're so much comfortable with us now, and they trust us, and they want us to continue the work. But unfortunately, they have to move on. Is it the support that the family support that we give to these families in terms of maybe food vouchers, the clothing? Is it the programs that we put on, our digital programs on YouTube, our website? Is it a voluntary scheme? You know, all of these, I think, you know, really, really play a big part.
So do you think that going forward for both of you, do you think that the way we work with our parents might change because of the pandemic?
The way we work with our parents, I think it will slightly change. I would say change for the better, in the sense that whereas earlier on I was talking about our digital support, whereas we didn't have that before, we have that now. And so that's a big improvement. That's a big impact of the COVID-19. And I think it's something that has come to stay. Parents love it. They like our digital offers, especially for our parents that are isolated. At least with that, we can get in touch, and there's interaction between us, between the families and the staff.
Yeah, no, I think it's like about doing things a bit differently, because it will take a while, won't it? So Dawn, what in your settings, like what kind of different activities have you found that people have enjoyed more during this time?
Well, I'm totally inspired because I've got a new place that we've just opened up with Plumcroft. It's all holistic play. It's totally different, I think, than what anybody else is doing. It's such a lovely atmosphere in there. I just love it. And even though we had a few parents come, it soon shut down again and everything. But because parents have not been able to meet their family, their friends, when they've all had babies, when it did open, it was nice because they could all get together. We're only opening for 5 families, 6 families at a time, but for them few families, they was over the moon with it. And now we're going to open up soft play, so I'm really excited. I can't wait to get going, and let's fill that place like as soon as we can, and just get people out and moving around again. And the feedback that I got, they just loved it. So it's just something totally different to what I've been doing with the Together for Twos, or the other settings that I've been doing before. So I've got a really renewed energy in everything that I'm doing at the moment. So yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely. I think that's I think back to nearly 10 years ago when I first stumbled across the Children's Centre. I think that the energy of the team and the practitioners is what kept me going, even though I had to walk up a really steep hill with a pushchair and a baby in a sling. I really enjoyed it, and that's definitely what inspired me to get involved with Home Start. So I know that that's not what you do, and the energy you guys give to the families, is really powerful. But I think today we just wanted to kind of focus a little bit about you. So now people generally know what we do, that we've got early years, we've got all these different types of settings and ways to support families. But the inspirational women behind the scenes, and I was thinking about, we talk about how our families have overcome stuff, but as working women, is there anything that anything specific, any specific challenges you've had to overcome to be able to do your roles, and what kind of support systems have you got for yourselves?
For me?
Go for it, Dawn.
Okay. Just basically, just really keeping in contact with the other staff members, just even to say how you're doing. I don't know, I just feel like you have to think on your feet, and you have to change things up, and just I don't know, you just like use the internet for a lot of things that are going on and things like that. But you know, things that for activities, for setups, for things like that. You know, you just I feel like the families, they really, it's like somewhere to go home every week, somewhere to go meet their friends, to get out of the house, to see a friendly face. Yeah, I just, you know, yeah.
So the people are inspiring you.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And you know, you just try to change it up for the children every week. Personally, I try to fill it up so they've got lots of things to do. Yeah, I mean, Homestart for me is like, they've given me a lot of opportunities. When I started there, I was an assistant, then I went to practitioner, I went to senior, and then lead practitioner. So they've given me a lot of opportunities, and I'm grateful for that. And now, especially with my new setting, I've got renewed energy, renewed, you know, I can't wait to get going for that thing. Yeah. So
oh, that's lovely to hear. That's lovely to hear. I just like to say that I didn't ask Dawn to say that, so I'm just really pleased you felt that way.
sorry,
And to you, Christina.
Yeah.
What challenges
I think,
and how was your support?
oh,
I think what drives me, I get my energy from my family, from the support I received when I first came to this country. So I started off as a volunteer with the old Shore Staff, and the support I got from them was so amazing that I thought I should give back, and that's where the strength started. And I gave back, and I kept giving back, and I was enjoying giving back. And one thing led to the other, and I got a job. Got 4 children. I had to juggle my job with the 4 children. And it's amazing that sometimes I meet moms that ask me, do you work? I say, yes, I work. Do you work full time? I say, yes, I work full time. And they wonder, how do you do it? I said, well, it's all planning. It's all because of Short Start. And this has extended into the children's center when the children's center opened. And I found myself in the children's center, and I'm still loving it. And I found myself in Homestart. We're still progressing. We're still leading on. And I think that strength of being able to get support and give back. And every time I give back, I find that the what I give back is being received, and more is being expected. And the people I work with, the practitioners I work with, all my team so far, they've been amazing. I think I get my strength from them, because the way they support me in every idea I bring in, the support I get makes me want to do more, makes me want to bring more. And I think that has really helped me to get me to where I am today. The strength I get from my team.
That's great. That's lovely. I mean, I must admit that you both have actually been quite hands-on in helping me with my children. So always used to come to clubs to get ideas from Dawn about, like, she's like, just do this in the garden, get this, wear them out, all these different activities. And Augustina, about times I'm like, how do you do it? When I'm trying to work out how to just get the summer holidays covered. So, you know, I know throughout my 10 years of parenting, you've both been full of good advice on how to keep going, and in fact, not just how to keep going, but actually how to manage that juggle of entering into a work that's quite passionate. So you work here and you do get dragged in. I think we've all been like, oh, we're only doing this, and then you end up at 8 o'clock getting involved in something because we're all very passionate about it, and not getting fatigued from that passion. And because I think the organisation is full of people that really just want to get things done and do a really great job. And to look at when I look at our staff, and we are majoritively women, between Teresa's not on the line, so I can't ask her how many, but you know, I'm sure over 90% of our staff is women. So sometimes it can be quite challenging because we've got parents and grandparents as well, and juggling all the maternity covers, and it can be very challenging. But at the same time, it's also very uplifting to work with people who are really passionate about what they do and then find a way to make it happen. So it was interesting to find out you both got your support, and you'd regularly dip into that so we don't get too worn out. Before you pop off,
a colleague actually said to me just last week here, she said, you know what, I want to come to work. I'm tired of staying at home because when I come to work, I feel happy. I'm always happy when I'm coming to work. I enjoy coming to work. It's like work is like home to me. I said, really? And she said, yes, it's like home to me. When I'm at work, I feel at home. I can think properly. I feel like I'm my family. I'm with my family. I was really touched when she said that to me. I was really, really touched. I was almost in tears. Yeah,
that is lovely.
Yeah. For a colleague to say that to you, that was amazing. Yeah.
Go, Dawn.
And I just think it's not only about going to work. It's more. We do fundraising. We do. You have to put your heart in it to do other things as well. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've had challenges with you just learn on your feet, really, and you can always ask one of the other girls. Everybody's always willing to help you if you are stuck or anything like that, But we don't just do like sticky fingers, learning through play, creative storytelling. You've just got to think, all right, okay, like next week, you've got to carry on, haven't you?
Yeah.
What keeps you going, that's what keeps your momentum up, But,
no, it has been. So what, for both of you, I have to ask, so during this, because we've been at home a lot, and you both are quite creative with your natural outlet, so what have you been doing? Have you been reading books, watching series? What have you been doing for your own well-being and to kind of find your happy place?
I think for me, I've been doing a lot of watching a lot of films with my children. So we've been watching a lot of Netflix films, and I have become an entertainer in the sense that during this pandemic, everyone is at home, and I find that everyone is glued to one tablet or the other. Is it at the laptop or the phone? And everyone sneak into their different zones, to their different rooms. And I've had to be a bit more creative as I would be at work, bring my skills from work home, and just entertain. I could be dancing and get them to dance. Who's the best winner? We play games, most of the time I do the entertaining, because all they want to do is go back to their phone. So I have to keep thinking of something to entertain them, to keep them, laughing, and it's been amazing. It's been great, because you not see a different side to your children, actually, especially when you're being forced to all be together in one room. There is no escape in the sense that they cannot say, oh, Mom, I'm just going to go down the road, because you're not even allowed to go down the road, so we're all kind of
we're all grounded
and
together.
We had to make the best of it. Yeah. So it was really amazing. We actually did some cooking. Now my boys can cook, actually, due to this pandemic. I've got a 15-year-old and I've got a 9-year-old. Actually, my 9-year-old, we fry egg together. He can fry egg now. We did it together. He can do
breakfast in
cold
bed
sandwich. Yeah. So I've done a lot of cooking with my boys, and that's one great achievement, especially with my 15-year-old.
Oh, well done to the boys if they're tuned in. Well done to them as well. Learning a new skill. What about you, Dawn?
Oh, a lot of Zoom meetings with my grandchildren. I just miss them so much, and just keeping up with them, really, seeing what they're doing. and looking up a lot of open-ended play. And I've been on Paul, like he bought in a pallet today. I was like, oh my God, like he's not very happy about me. Oh, what next? I need wooden crates. I need and just generally catching up with the colleagues, and just a lot of phoning the parents, just to make sure that people know what's going on, know we're still out there, knowing, you know, the centres are open. If you do have a problem, don't suffer in silence, that we're still at the end of the phone, or if you need any intervention, you know, we're there. So yeah, I can't say that I've just sat there, but I'll be glad to get back. It's not good, all that
well,
around. Good.
Well, we do hope, by the time we get to the end of April and we've interviewed all our guests, that we have a little resource pack of things that can keep us going. Whether it's, I mean, I'll be lying if I don't say that I'll be making sure that I come to the first couple of stay in place, just to help, just to get my hands in some foam or some corks, just to enjoy myself. But
just like you, just like you, Leanne, a lot of our parents are eager to come back to our stay and play sessions. We've been receiving so many phone calls about, are you doing any sort of face-to-face activity? We want to come out, you know. Is it like sometimes we go into the park, go for a walk, you know, anything. They're so eager to come in. Even people are already asking about holiday clubs, you know. It's not yet July, but they're already asking about holiday clubs, you know, the forest school. And so it's I think we're ready. We're making plans to welcome everyone back, you know.
We are ready. We are ready. Well, we will be ready when the government's ready and everything's ready. We'll be ready. And I think what's interesting is the work that you both do is being so. I hadn't realised how much sensory things we have, which is actually really good for our well-being. But I've been kind of having to do a lot of that at home myself, going for walks, collecting things from the outside, and you know, connecting with that bit of nature and natural fabrics and textures. And I found it really distressing, actually. So maybe work isn't all that stressful all the time. to reevaluate. But before I bring on the next two guests, I'm just going to ask you really briefly if you could give one succinct short message to your younger selves, what would it have been? Starting with you, Dawn.
I think I didn't have a lot of confidence when I started with Homestart. So I'm thinking that if you want to achieve, you can achieve anything. And if you need to ask, just ask. People are always there to help. They are in our company anyway, I think. And I think you do have to ask questions to be straight in your head. But I think if I had my time, you know, my younger self again, I think just not to be so scared of change, really, because sometimes change is good.
Yeah.
You know.
Like that. Wise words. Thank you, Dawn.
All right.
You were relieved. And
Thank
to you,
you,
Augustina.
So I'm glad to say I look at some of my colleagues, especially with the new members of staff, and I sometimes smile and I say I see them, I see myself in them when I was younger. I see a lot of confidence. I see a lot of passion, wanting to learn and learn more and achieve. I see a lot of ambition. I just want to say they should keep it up. You learn new skills every day. Every day you learn a skill. You could learn it from your family. You could learn it from your children. You could learn it from your colleagues or from the families that come into you. No knowledge is lost. They're all useful. They may not be useful today, they'll be useful tomorrow. And that has brought me so far, believing that no knowledge is lost. Every knowledge you gain as you step on each day in life is useful. So that's what I would say to them. No knowledge is lost. You will need it someday. Yeah.
Well, thank you both very, very much. I've enjoyed our little catch up, and I hope we're going to enjoy this month. So keep on joining in. As I let you both out the room, I'm going to bring in our next two guests. So how do I do this? I've got to pretend to be slick. Okay, one of my things for this year is I'm going to try and be better at technology.
Yes,
so
yes.
Because
Keep on. Yeah.
I'm not that great. Right. So I'm going to try. If anything goes wrong, dial back in, people. I'm still going to be here. But thank you to Augustina and to Dawn for being really inspirational women and helping us to kick off our event. Bye,
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Cheers. All right. So I think I've got this. I'm going to bring in Jane, one of our volunteers, and Paula. I hope that worked. It's really interesting that both of them talked about things that Homestart principles are on. So building confidence in women, that's one of the big subjects that we try to bring a lot of different adult learning education on, and also lifelong learning. We try to inspire that in our children and in our settings, and also for adults. So we're always on the lookout for new courses and development skills for our parents as well as for our children. So it was fabulous to hear those wise words. And I've done it. I'm so impressed with myself. For anyone that joined the test, I thought I was going to wipe out. So thank you for joining me, Jane and Paula, also from Homestart.
Hi, Leanne. Hello, everyone.
Oh, literally relieved. I can stop sweating now. I thought that this transition would mean that I would stop the whole program. But thank you for joining. And do you know what? I'm gonna just say to everyone, if you've tuned in now, a few new people have just joined, that so Paula's been with Homestart Greenwich for just over a year, just under a year.
I was with CGCC for about 5 years before Homestart took over.
Yeah.
So enjoyed my first year with you.
It's been a pleasure having you with us.
Yeah.
So you're well known in the community as well, because you were over at the Eglinton sites as well, wasn't you? So you're quite a local SEA team.
I was based at Mulberry when it was just the school. We had the children's centre there. Then I moved to Cardwell, where I've been for 5 years. Then Homestart took over. I'm still based at Cardwell, but actually I work across all the centres. So yeah, everyone gets to know me.
Well, we like that. We like that. You know, in Homestart, we do like to see everybody that we're working with. So it's fabulous to have you with us. And Jane, you've been volunteering with Homestart from before I think I even came in to Homestart.
Yeah, I've been volunteering since 2015.
And
yes.
I came to Cardwell with family.
And Paula and I have seen each other in various guises across the years, haven't we, Paula? So it's great.
Oh, that's fabulous. So it's lovely to have you both. I'm just going to say, if you hear lots of disturbing noises, I don't know why, but my partner decided to clean the oven while I'm Instagram living. So the fire alarm is going off.
I'm looking like, get out.
Like, yeah, that's
it. And you know, there's just no peace for me in this house wherever I go.
Exactly. To be fair, I'm just glad someone's cleaning the oven. So I'm gonna take that.
That's your treat. National Women's Day. You're getting a clean oven.
I know. Not sure. It's a bit like when you get a dishwasher for your first year anniversary or something. It's a bit borderline. I just. Oh no, so it's lovely. So we got kind of the same format as our last two participants. You know, like I said, we really wanted to spend some time today just talking to people in our organisation who have worked so hard over this last year to really support families locally and the wider community, very, very quietly, but doing some really important work that's really helping to ensure that we've kept, children safe and keep families at the heart of everything we do. And it's my opportunity to say thank you to you all as well, because when I've not been around, I know I have to carry on because you all have been doing all of that work. So it's our opportunity this is my like peek behind the scenes. We know that you guys are very active in the children's centres, but can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing over the past year during COVID to support families and the children, and why, and maybe a bit about what inspires you? Start with you, Paula.
Yeah, so this last year when we first went into lockdown in March, it was just before we got taken over by Home Start, so it was really strange for me, because when I actually did come back to work, I've walked into Brook Hill, I didn't know anybody. I came in to help out on the Pass the Time project. It was amazing. So Pass the Time project was where local families donated unwanted items such as games, baby equipment, clothes, toys. And then we got referrals from family support workers, Home Start staff, letting us know which families would need some stuff. So we've then arranged for them to be delivered by the London Fire Brigade. We had such a massive amount of stuff donated. It was unbelievable. And by doing this, it just allowed the children to get some new things. One parent said her children, when they got the delivery, they was like, yay, it's Christmas. So it's just stuff that they wouldn't have got, and it just passed the time. So lots of board games, lots of activities for them to do at home. So that really made a difference. This current lockdown, I've been working on the food project down at Brook Hill with Hazel and Virginia. This project is really amazing. We get food donated by Fair Share, and the local councillors at Greenwich, they also do a big shop for us every Friday morning. They drop it all off. We've then got a list. I think we've got about 40 families at the moment who are requiring food. It may be that they've lost their jobs and they've got no money. It could be that they're shielding, they can't go shopping, they might be isolating due to COVID, various reasons. But every Friday we have the wonderful Home Start volunteers that come in. We've bagged up all the shopping and they then go around delivering it all. So that's really, I love doing it. It just makes me feel like we're making such a big difference to families.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
And I even do some deliveries myself sometimes if we've got so much that just can't get it all out. And you knock on the door, you leave the bags at the door, step back, they open the door and they're just delighted. They can't thank us enough. Yeah. So yeah, it really makes you like feel like you're doing something worthwhile.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, when I read how many families, you know, I think at one point, very beginning, we were at 4,000 meals had been delivered, and the whole thing has been done so well. But I think what really stands out to me is when I'm there and people, staff like members like you, who are just absolutely smiling, and it's hard work. It's not. I've tried to help, and I keep up with you and go home and crash out. Like, it's exhausting. And you know,
done it. I came home and I swear I'd never ever been so tired in my life, ever.
Yeah, I thought I was quite tough.
And I couldn't even walk. I was like this, because you're bending down, lifting up crates. It's really physical, but it's brilliant. But now I'm so used to it. My body's used to it.
Yeah, no, I mean, my hat's off to you. It's been amazing to watch the project,
yeah.
And to see, as you said, the impact it's having on the community. And so I'm going to the same question to you, Jane. So the last year, as a volunteer, you've been involved in quite a few different things. So do you want to tell us a bit about what you've been doing very quietly?
Yeah. When we first went into the first lockdown, which was almost exactly a year ago today, isn't it, more or less, I think? Mm-hmm. I wasn't supporting a family individually at that stage, but I had been working on Big Hopes, Big Future. I've been attending the sessions at the Glendon Community Centre, Children's Centre. So I was starting to, and at Alderwood as well, we were working in Eltham at that stage. Seems an awfully long time ago. But we had to abandon that project halfway through. Those families had only had a few sessions since the Christmas time. So obviously I suddenly thought, well, what can I do? So I offered myself to the food project at that stage and did a bit of research for the Hazels on where we might get some donations and some charitable support. So I did some liaison with charities for them for that, and didn't really do that much more. I think, I recorded a few music videos. I mean, not with a pop band or anything, just me and my hand movements, doing a few rhymes and things, which I think were used on websites and things. And then we also, I got together with my local community's Knit and Natter group, because they were looking for projects to become involved with, and we made finger puppets. You probably saw the finger puppets, lots of finger puppets. We had 5 little ducks, we had stories, we had Goldilocks and the 3 bears and various other things which went out, I think with the food, but certainly went out to families who wanted something a bit different. So that liaison has continued, and I think there was some baby blankets sent in as well, and lots of other things have happened. And then in July, I was able to meet a new family to support at distance. We met in the garden at the Slade Children's Centre, and the lady concerned has 2 sets of twins. So hats off to her, she's amazing. And she and I have managed to sustain a sort of relationship of support over the time, but it hasn't been normal. It hasn't been hands-on. It hasn't been what I would have wanted to have been, but we've had quite a lot of fun. And her big boys, as she calls them, the bigger, older twins, I think when they see me, they think that I need them to collect sticks and bits of leaves, because that's the very first thing we did together on Plumstead Common, doing some making shapes with pieces of sticks and doing all sorts of naturey things like that, which have been great fun. And we've kept in touch by various means. So that's what I've been doing. And I've also been helping a little bit with a bit of proofreading, just any old bits and pieces really that you've wanted. So it's been good to keep in touch.
Fantastic.
Also did a little bit of training, which was good as well. So yeah.
I love how you started off saying, I've not been doing much. That sounded like a lot of stuff to me. And you know, I saw some of the feedback, and a parent had written, I just love opening my bags on Friday because it's like a present day every day. Just it's lovely. And I did see the finger puppets, and and some of the knitted works, and it was, you know, there was at the time, I think that was during the height of the pandemic, I remember seeing parent responses coming back and saying, you know, we've not been doing like present day kind of things because of money, and it was like having gifts. So that work that, as you did, you brought together so many different agencies to make this happen, the Knit and Natter clubs and everything else, and we've had such good results. So when I look back as a director over the last year, I think, wow, what a tremendous amount of work's gone in. But as you all talked about, the impact it's had on the families have been fantastic. So that's why for today, as I said, it's as the launch of our month of women and looking at our hidden heroes in the community. It's really interesting to find out for you personally what challenges you've personally overcome, and what's your support system for helping you to continue doing what you do.
So I've got my children at home, and Lily's only 10, so I need to be here with her. Well, someone does. And I've got Daisy, she's 13. Homeschooling is just a nightmare. It's the worst thing ever. So Daisy's on the laptop, which is fine. She's been doing okay-ish. Mainly doing her makeup, because every time I see her, she's got different makeup on. I'm like, have you done your work? She's like, yeah, I've just posted English. I'm like, okay. And then she was like, no, Google Classroom doesn't work on my iPad. I was like, are you sure? I was like, let me see. I couldn't get it to work. and I had the teacher phoning me, Lily's not submitting any work. I said, well, her iPad's not letting her on. I said, I'll bring it to the school and see if you can help me out with it. So I took it up there, and even the teacher couldn't get it. There was something to do with the passcode or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I said, just give me the paper, give me the paperwork, and I'll take that. So I took that home for her. She's done a bit, but she's been back at school for the last 2 weeks, because I've actually been at work almost every day now.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of getting busy again. So yeah, so she's been back for 2 weeks, and I think it's really good for her. It's made such a difference. Yeah, but you know, I have got other children at home. I've got older boys. One's 21, one's 19. But first of all, they didn't have jobs, and then all of a sudden they both got jobs, so I couldn't rely on them.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good they got jobs, but not good for me because I ain't got no babysitters. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I see that challenge.
She lives a few doors away from me, but she's shielding. She's on the shielding list, so we haven't really had much contact. But there's been a few times where I stand at the end of her driveway and say hi. But yeah, that's about. I've got a good family around me. Yeah, so I'm lucky that way. And I do feel sorry for the people that don't have that, because they must be so lonely. I know a lot of our families come from other countries, and most of their families are still in the other countries, so they're totally isolated. We're all they've got to some of these families. So, yeah, it's important we do keep as much contact as we can. We've been phoning lots of parents. I think last week between me and Dawn, we had about 600 phone calls to make. But we got through them.
Fantastic.
The families are just so happy. Like when they hear you at the end of the phone, they're like, thanks for calling. Some of them, they want to chat and chat and chat for ages. I think maybe they haven't had anyone else to talk to. So yeah, it's like.
So what do you do? So since you can't see your support system as much, what have you been doing during this time for your own well-being? Have you been watching shows, reading a book? Have you got a favourite author at the moment?
I've watched the whole of Netflix. I've got nothing left to watch, pretty much. I'm enjoying the Prime. They've got some great stuff. I started Desperate Housewives from the beginning, so season 1, and I watched all 8 seasons. And I think there's like 23 episodes a season. But yeah,
did you say Desperate Housewives?
Yeah, I used to love that.
There's no judgment during COVID about how much Netflix you can watch.
No,
it's a bit like any weight gain. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to support each other through it.
Do you know what? At least this lockdown has been a lot easier because we've got all the takeaway shops open. The first one, it was terrible. It's my birthday on the 28th of March. So I'm coming up to my second lockdown birthday now.
Oh, I love the plug. Everyone's been reminding me of any special date lately. So I need paper and pencils.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been walking the dog. We've got our little chihuahua, so we've been walking her. And I think just sometimes you don't get dressed, and I think that can really impact on your well-being. I think it's important to get out of your pyjamas on a daily basis and go for a little walk, even if it's just around the block. My 13-year-old daughter, she just doesn't ever want to go out. I'm like, Daisy, come on, we need to go out. Just get ready. She's like, no, I don't want to. I was like, just come in your pyjamas then, and we'll just walk the dog. It's dark. No one's going to see you. Yeah, so we've been doing that. We've been baking cakes. If you see on my Instagram page, my daughter.
I did get a little snoop today. I saw some rainbow bakes there.
My 13-year-old, she made that all by herself. Their first ever attempt. Yeah.
This is why there's no flour in the shops during the pandemic. That's fantastic. So, Paula, my last question for you is going to be, what advice would you give your younger self?
My younger self, maybe listen more in class. What I say to my daughter, you need to listen more. No, I don't know. You can achieve whatever you want, really. You don't need to focus so much on it when you're young. You've got the rest of your life to fulfill your dreams. What more could you say? Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Well, on those wise notes, I will relieve you from this chat room. But
Thank
thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, well.
Jane, don't go. I'm going to try. But yeah, it's been brilliant to have you with us. Our last staff member representing and launching our event. So we hope that you'll be back in and you'll stay watching for the next couple of Wednesdays as well. No, it's Monday, isn't it? Mondays. But let's see if I can do this, because you know, earlier I did mess up. So thank you, Paula. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Paula.
Okay,
Yeah, you've done
I
it.
did it.
You've done it.
Look, I'm going to be Instagramming live every day now. Just ask people to any random.
Me too. And I've only been on Instagram since 48 hours ago. You realise I've got an Instagram account especially for this.
I'm so impressed, Jane. And this is the thing. I was thinking about all of the things that I know I can do, but don't do. And my sister-in-law calls me technically challenged when she's being polite. And she's right. I really am terrible. So it's one of the things I'm trying to get better at.
No. What you're doing is you're making that a reality by saying over and over again, I can't do it. Whereas if you say, it can't be difficult, everybody can do this, everybody does this. So why is it difficult? It isn't difficult. And you didn't make it difficult in the end, you managed it.
I did. I feel like I need to write this on a whiteboard just so I can tick it off as I did it. I managed to get Instagram
It's
live.
only Monday. You might think it's Wednesday, but it is only Monday. It's been a long day, I know.
Incredibly long. Thank you so much. So this is our chance. As a volunteer, I've got to ask. So, you know, I'm hoping you what we're saying. You've done a lot. You've had a career. You've worked, and then you're giving back to Home Start and giving back to the local families and communities. So what do you think's inspired you to keep to do what you're doing?
I think it has to be the model of Home Start. It's just such an amazing thing to have come up with. You know, the idea of somebody in my position or somebody similar to me who's got a few hours every week who can actually help someone else out just because they want to be able to do something to give something back. You know, some of the jobs I did, especially my first job, I worked in the BBC. That was my first job when I left university and got my secretarial qualification. And I worked on radio, and at the time I thought, I'm doing this job, but we're looking at the listening figures, and there are lots of people who are listening to this, but actually it's not making any difference really to anybody's life. It's like a luxury. It's not it's not essential. Whereas what you do with Home Start is that you learn so much for yourself that you might not have realized, even though you've brought up 2 kids, goodness knows how that happened. But you get to see things through other people's eyes, and you're making a difference, massively making a difference in a very small but incredibly powerful way. And that's what I love about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's lovely. I think when you say it like that, you forget that the human touch and the human connection has such a big impact on our lives. So people impact on children from before they're even born, through voice, through touch, through smell. And I think that's one of the things that I love about watching the volunteers, that it's not that much time that you're spending with these families, but actually the difference that those few hours make are really significant. And that linking people to different services.
And sometimes I've worked with families in the past where you thought, I don't know if I'm really making a difference. People keep on changing the time they want me to visit. Perhaps they don't really want me to visit, and then you find out from some other source, perhaps supervisor or something, that they're saying, oh yeah, they can't wait for you to come, and they're really, really excited when they see you. And you know, and they want to know what you're going to do next week or whatever, you know, because in the past I've been I've gone in for various different techniques. Like I used to have a bag of bricks that I used to take around with me, and they would be my little passport through the door, you know, and the children would just enjoy playing with me with those, and then they would know that they were mine, so they would go home again with me. And you know, that's the sort of thing I used to enjoy doing. It's good fun, yeah, really good fun, and really worthwhile and important. Yeah.
I think that's the one of the things is that I don't know if you'd agree that during this pandemic, what's important to us has almost become more higher up our priority list. There are things that I totally thought that I would miss, and I haven't. And then there's other things that I didn't realise was such a big factor in my life that have really stood out. Have you found the same? And
yes, I suppose I have. But the other thing I found is, even though I'm retired, fully retired from paid work, and I don't want a job that, you know, pays me money, because I've done all that, you know, I don't want the responsibility or the commitment or any of that sort of thing. I'm quite happy doing what I do. But I also feel that there are lots of days when I used to think, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do the other. And since the lockdowns and COVID, and I've thought, actually, I don't want to do that thing. I'm not going to do it. Just simple as that. I'm not going to do it. You know, there's no imperative to do it. It's only because it was me thinking it had to be done, whereas actually nobody else wanted to do it. Especially, you know, it's just one of those things you feel you have to do. One of the things I did for my grand,
because I think I came into my 30s and thought, oh, this is the best time ever in my life, because I care less about what other people think of me, and I want to still be a nice human, but I'm not afraid as much to say no and to say that's my boundary. So it's really interesting you saying actually there's a list of things you think you've got to do at, you know, a slightly older age, and just, you know, you still have that dynamic. So I'm really actually slightly more invested in my future if I'm going to get even more assertive with myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously none of us would have wanted the threats that there have been to our health through all this, but I think that actually only good things can come out of it. You know, look at the way that you can get a blood test or a smear test or a whatever, and you can go and you go at the time and you're seen at the time of your appointment. Suddenly the health service in certain aspects seems to be able to do stuff it wasn't able to do before. And I'm so impressed. You know, I went to the hospital for a blood test and an x-ray, and I was in there for 15 minutes total. Both things done. That would never have happened before COVID. Never. Admittedly, you know, my husband couldn't come with me or any of that, but that didn't matter so much as actually getting the things sorted. And it's made us look again at our methodology with things and the way we do things, and which is good.
So how have you managed to, so you've raised kids, you've worked, how have you managed to ensure that you're supported and look after your own well-being in this time and generally?
Well, I think I've been incredibly lucky in my life, Leanne, incredibly lucky. When I look, I mean, even more so than ever now, I look at it and say that, because when my children were small, I did part-time. I did a sort of childcare arrangement with friends. Later on, we did have somebody that we had, you know, helping with the children. But we were lucky enough for me not to have to work all the way through, right from, you know, at the beginning when they were little, when they were really tiny. I didn't work. So I was incredibly fortunate in that way. But I think these days I feel so sorry for younger people now. You know, my children and their contemporaries, you know, they have a much harder time of it, balancing work, childcare, you know, all the things that they feel their child needs, you know, to to provide for all of that, it's really difficult. It can be really, really difficult. So yeah, I managed it by a kind of, as people do, you know, juggling, but it was never impossible. And the jobs that I did, I was able to say, well, you know, I can't come in, actually. One of them's ill. I've got to be at home. So whatever. Then I managed somehow to get through all that. Yeah, I mean, but a supportive husband, of course, you know, that sort of shouldn't go without saying, but it's true. And still supportive, incredibly supportive of what I do, you know. Everything that I do, even though he might not think all of it's a good idea.
It's lovely to have someone, shining light on you. And
so
what have you done in terms of your well-being? If over this time, have you got any favourite authors or podcasts or something that you do to kind of, connect or feel inspired?
Our children grew up without a television in the house. We don't watch television. We still don't watch television, but we do watch. I watch the odd thing on my laptop these days, and I discovered Call the Midwife because I read her books, or one of her books, a while ago. I just found it by chance, and I thought this is really interesting. And then I thought, I wonder what they make. And then it kept popping up. You know, I would see it on social media or something. Oh, this is something in this, you know. So I'm working my way through Call the Midwife at the moment. So yeah, enjoying it. It's good.
Yes.
I do read. I do write because I'm doing a creative writing course with City Lit, which I was introduced to through Homestart, because it was one of the things that was on the list of things you could do. So, and when it was circulated, it was that, you know, somebody said, whoever circulated it, probably Hazel, said, help yourself if you'd like to join in. So I've started that, which I really, really like, really good. I do loads of gardening. Through the last lockdowns, I planted loads of seeds and saved the seeds, and so just about to replant them all for the second lot of March and April. So yeah, do that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I really like. I mean, I feel like I could just take on your hobbies, because all things I like doing. I've rediscovered a bit of writing this while I've been at home a bit more. But I must say, I really like gardening for how it makes me feel. Not very good at it, but it makes me feel good. But squirrels, I didn't know that they dug up your stuff.
They did, yeah, they do.
No one's told me about this. Whole plants have been missing.
Squirrels have been dominating my life in the past 24 hours. It's funny you should say that. Because now that I'm on Instagram, I'll probably put some pictures up about how naughty they are. And I cut my grass for the first time yesterday. My husband came down from his office, which is in the garden, and he said there are 14 holes in the grass where the squirrels stuck up.
I didn't know. I feel like I'm very new to this whole, you know, domestic gardening life, but I'm in for it. I'm fully in.
But it's great for the children as well. You know, children love this outdoor life, don't they? They love to be outside. And for many a child that's troubled in whatever way, it really can be quite a game changer to take them outside, even for a short time, you know. Yeah. So I would say that to parents for sure. You know, don't be in your pajamas when your food delivery comes. Don't be there. So at least put your clothes on for the Homestart volunteer to arrive. And then make sure that you take your children out, even if it's raining. Put the brollies up, or you know, let them go brollies and splashing puddles. It's great. Love it. It's a game changer just to look outside.
I think you've got some good advice there. So I've been asking everyone the same question to you, Jane. So what advice would you give your younger self looking back now?
I would say don't judge. Because your younger self is the person that you were yesterday. It's not just the person you were when you were 25, or, you know, and you have to constantly remind yourself about what's going to make you the best you can be. And I would always say, don't judge yourself, but certainly don't judge other people, and don't underestimate their potential, because people are incredibly powerful and they can do great things together. And I would say That would be my slogan about
Oh, I like that.
what I would
I
say
like
to
that.
myself. Because I think in the past I probably have, and I haven't been a very good person for that. So it kind of makes me feel as though that would be a good thing to keep remembering, for sure.
Mm. I really like that, Jane, and I can't top that advice, because I think that is, I think that is it. Actually, I think one of the things that I'm inspired about when we talk about our community of people is that we're all going through something. We're all changing, we're all developing, we're all growing, and we can do this in support of each other, or we can do it without thinking about other people. But when you do it together, it's always much better. And I think that's one of the hardest things as you grow, and as you said, you're always growing. As you grow, that actually you don't need to judge yourself, and you just need to step back and reflect. And that's lovely. That's a lovely thought to leave this conversation on. I'm just hoping that you all who have plugged in, if you've got any questions for any of our guests, please do send a message in, and we'll see if we can answer them. Depends what it is, though. But Jane, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us this time this evening, and for leaving us with such lovely wise words, and being a
Well,
huge part of
thank
our.
you.
No, this
Thank
is
you, and thank you to Homestart Greenwich, because without you, I wouldn't have done an amazing couple of training courses and got involved in the way I have. So thank you for that.
No, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's a privilege to have such a mixed bag of experience and wealth of knowledge in our team. So it's a real privilege, and it's been lovely that when I've looked, actually quite a lot of our team members have logged in at some certain points today, your families that know us in the community. So I just want to say a huge thank you to you all in this evening. I promised I'll be short. I know there's a few things on TV tonight that people want to get back for, so I won't keep you any longer, but thank you ever so much. I'm going to download this onto the channel, so you'll be able to watch it, or if you want to share it, please do. Please encourage people to like and subscribe to our channel, whether it's on our Homestart Instagram or on our YouTube. Over the next few months, there's going to be a lot more content put there for your own benefit, and I hope for the rest of the month, Hazel's must have a goodie bag of guests for us to pull out, who have been doing lots of work, like Jane and Paula and Augustina and Dawn, in the community, are very hidden heroes who are doing fantastic work to keep our children and families safe, to keep our community together, and to really inspire us all with how we can use a little bit of our time and actually achieve a lot. So thank you all, and good night. Jane, I'm going to try and get you out this room comfortably without it being a shock, without me deleting this video as well. But thank you very much, Jane. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. And it's me all alone. Oh, thank you from Happily Clappily Ever After. Oh, I've not seen you in ages. Thank you too. Thank you for joining. Lovely to see everyone here, to Angela and to Dawn and to all the others. Thank you very much. Hazel's just reinforcing that we have some great people lined up that got a tough act to follow, having had 4 of our very inspirational women from Homestart. So have a lovely evening all, and I shall speak to you again next week Monday on this channel, 7 p.m. I won't be doing a test because I'm going to smash it and get it right the first time. But thank you all for joining, and those of you who sent me a big shout out to Aaron, who helped me kindly work out how to use Instagram Live earlier this afternoon. It's lovely to see that the community is still supporting Homestart even when we're not around. So thank you all, and see you soon. Bye.